In this scene, Daniel confronts Phyllis for betraying him behind his back, while Sally tries to keep Nick from discovering her disappointment. The young and the restless, today as Kyle learns that his parents are back together, Tucker pitches Daniel and Nick encourages Sally. The next time you're at Crimson Lights, look for Tucker to approach Daniel and tell him, "I heard you were back in town." Tucker thinks it's great that they bumped into each other now. He told his mom about his new gaming venture, and they had a great talk about it. "I got the impression that you're trying to get additional funding." He has an offer to make to him. At Newman Media, Nate and Audra mutually praise a business transaction. Audra is grateful to him for giving her a second chance. Nate wants her to attend a meeting with him, and he knows that she will be interested in hearing about Daniel Romalotti's new gaming platform. As Phyllis enters the room, Nate introduces her and explains that Daniel's mom arranged for the meeting. Phyllis is eager to move forward, but Nate would rather wait for her son, from whom he had hoped to hear the pitch. Lily finishes a work call at Society, just as Billy comes in to assist her with her coat. She expresses appreciation, and he thinks back to the days when it was his responsibility to ensure that her day went off without a hitch. Sally is ranting to Chloe on the phone from Los Angeles about how she and her friend Chloe flew out there to meet Jill, but Jill abruptly cancelled. "I mean, seriously, who does that?" She tells her boyfriend that she'll be staying in Los Angeles for a while. Perhaps if she changes her mind or if she storms into her office, she can tell her exactly how she feels. Sally ends the call and considers the possibility of Nick learning she's expecting. A sigh escapes her, and she plops down on the couch. The phone rings while she mulls over whether to answer it. This is Nick calling to tell her he was thinking about her. There is a grin on her face. Sipping tea at the Abbott residence, Diane beams as she fantasizes about sex with Jack. He suddenly appears and inquires as to the source of her grin. She thinks he can figure it out. Summer and Kyle walk down the stairs and start canoodling with them. Summer observes that Diane has arrived unreasonably early. Repeatedly, according to Jack, she stayed the night. "You two need to be aware of this." When he hears the news, Kyle wants to hear that it's good. Jack states, romantically speaking, that he and Diane have changed their relationship. Sally, in Los Angeles, responds humorously to Nick's phone joke. When he inquires about her morning sickness, she reports that she is feeling much better than she did a week ago. In their next meeting, Nick promises her that she will completely wow Jill. Sally is little preoccupied and assumes that he is as well. Nick freely acknowledges he's been thinking about it. She says she is sorry for only mentioning the news and disappearing. Nick double-checks her vitamin intake and meal routine before bringing up their upcoming appointment with Jill again. Phyllis visits Newman Media to talk to Nate and Audra about setting up a meeting with Daniel if she finds enough interest. As soon as Nate nods, she begins her sales presentation for the game. Nate can feel her maternal pride. Phyllis points out to him that she plays video games too. Audra wonders if she's attempting to provoke a bidding war, assuming that other companies are also interested. Phyllis says that once anything attracts a lot of attention, it tends to become more desirable than ever. She was making sure they were serious about getting in at the ground level. Nate and Daniel need to talk some more. Even Audra agrees with this. Phyllis appreciates the opportunity and promises to meet with her son. The moment they are alone, Nate can feel Audra's resistance. The brightest star among the young and restless, all of Sharon Case's most stunning red carpet looks, Tucker presses Daniel to reveal the nature of his quest. Daniel needs a lot of money and a lot of freedom to do his work. Tucker says, of course, in response. Daniel challenges McCall to make him an unbelievable deal. When asked why Daniel shouldn't work with Chancellor Winters or Newman Media, Tucker says it's because they won't give Daniel the creative freedom he needs. He has a deep familiarity with the Newman dynamic and with Jill, so he won't have much freedom there. Tucker appreciates his sentiments towards the network. Being reborn as a spiritual being in an ashram has given him the ability to support Daniel's endeavor, especially if it will be financially rewarding. He raises Heather and Lucy, who are currently residing in Portugal. Daniel doesn't know how he figured it out, but he lets him know that he's seeking for an unintrusive corporate partner. Sally, currently residing in Los Angeles, reveals to Nick over the phone that she may go to the West Coast if she and Chloe strike a deal with Jill. She queries, "How would you feel about that?" Nick believes the most pressing issue is whether or not she could ever return to live in the area. Sally thinks this could be the finest move for her career. If that's the case, Nick assures her they'll figure it out. Let's not jump the gun here. All that remains is for you and Chloe to present your case, and then we can move on. Sally says she is glad to be with you in Genoa City, and that she now feels at home there. On the other end, Nick cracks a grin. Lily wishes she could discuss shop with Billy at Society, but she has to be careful about what she says. Her honesty was something Billy had great respect for. He longs to bounce ideas off of her again and suggests they meet for coffee. Lily declines, explaining that she has a hectic day at work and that nothing is happening because of him. She wishes that he finds what he's seeking. Inside the Abbott home, Diane approaches Kyle and inquires about his thoughts on his and Jack. Kyle claims they were able to watch them get closer. Diane reassures him that this was not her aim. She did not anticipate Jack forgiving her for the past, but she is quite appreciative that he recognized the progress she has made. When Jack thinks of Diane, he doesn't want her to be the type to sneak around. She is just as welcome here as you are. Summer gives you the eye roll. To elaborate, Jack says she's family. They appear joyful, but Kyle isn't quite ready to accept the thought that they're back together. Their happiness has been confirmed by Jack. With a grin on her face, Diane talks to you. Summer then leaves to remind Kyle of their breakfast appointment. I don't believe Kyle was very pleased, Diane says to Jack. Audra reveals to Nate at Newman Media that Daniel has his podium ready to go at Chancellor Winters. Without trying to overstate their offer, it's hard to fathom why Phyllis would even consider approaching them. Nate is curious as to whether or not Chancellor Winters is through any sort of transition. Audra has a hunch that Phyllis is unstable, but she's confident that they'll figure out what's going on. Tucker tells Daniel at Crimson Lights that he's found it's impossible to keep work and personal life completely separate. Sadness, given his circumstances, is likely to influence his choices. He's also aware of the fact that suffering can serve as a powerful incentive to make things right. As Lily enters the room, Tucker assures Daniel that he knows the initiative will have personal significance for him and his loved ones. If I could in any way facilitate your progress toward that objective, I would. Lily comes up to Tucker and says, with me. When asked if Daniel has a contract, Summer admits to Kyle at Society that her mother was correct in her assessment of Diane's true intentions toward Jack. Kyle protests, but she reassures him his mom has returned to get him. After everything that has happened between them, Kyle just can't bring himself to support this reunion. When Summer talks to you, you listen. If things go south, Kyle is worried that his father will be utterly crushed. Maybe it was inevitable, but he doesn't like how quickly it came. Summer worries that the thrill of finally defeating Stark may have stoked tensions. Billy approaches Summer and Kyle and inquires about the arrest of Jeremy Stark. From Chicago, Kyle claims he took a necklace from Nikki and Victor's apartment. In Billy's opinion, it's strange that a professional money launderer like himself would be caught stealing. He leaves and Kyle and Summer glance at one another. Tucker informs Lily at Crimson Lights that her IPO problems are delaying Daniel's plans. Does she really think he will wait around while she deals with her issues? Lily gently reminds him that he has himself to blame for the company's problems by introducing Audra to work there. When Daniel asks her why he shouldn't trust Tucker, she tells him that Tucker betrayed his own son. Tucker shrugs and says there are always two sides to every tale. He leaves after telling Daniel to think about what he said. After discussing the situation with Daniel, Lily tells him that breaking their contract to be with Tucker is a terrible idea. Even though Daniel is anxious about the delay, he does not want to break his agreement with Lily. That's when he told Tucker that his mom planted the seed of curiosity in Tucker's ear. Lily wants to help him realize his vision for the gaming platform, but she is unable to do so until the IPO is resolved. That, Daniel tells her, is the thing that's making him anxious, that she can't make a decision within a week. Lily says she'll release him from the agreement. While visiting the Abbott home, Diane senses Kyle is afraid she may injure Jack again. If Jack actually believed that he wouldn't be standing there. Diane had experienced what it is like to be without him and Kyle and to be all by herself. Never again will she put herself in harm's way for that. The couple embraces in a passionate kiss. Tucker informed Phyllis at the Grand Phoenix that he had a conversation with Daniel, who saw the benefits of working with him. She tells him again that she warned him not to approach her son, and that now both of them despise him. Tucker gently but firmly tells her that the work belongs to Daniel. "You are merely a passenger." A fuming Phyllis. Lily looks down on Audra when she sees her working for Nate at Crimson Lights. "It's obvious that the corporation you work for has questionable corporate ethics." Nate says to Daniel that he liked Phyllis's presentation of his new gaming venture. Lily is stunned into silence. Nate has shown his eagerness to communicate with Daniel. Lily lashes out at Daniel as he claims he had nothing to do with the meeting at Newman Media, and that his mother acted on her own and too soon. To Nate, Audra reveals, "I thought something seemed strange." Daniel says he's sorry his mom kept them waiting. The two exchange pleasantries before he puts on his coat and promises to check in on Lily later. While at Society, Kyle becomes concerned that no one believes his account about Stark stealing Nikki's necklace. Perhaps he could have helped his parents find a better solution if Summer hadn't insisted he keep out of it. Summer thinks he owes her an apology for keeping him out of it. Kyle would like to forget about it. Summer agrees that the scheming must stop at home. What she really cares about is hearing that Kyle rejected Victor. Sally, who is in Los Angeles, listens on the phone while Nick encourages her before an upcoming meeting with Jill. She expresses gratitude to him for helping her get back on track. "To have someone like you in my life is a blessing, even more so. The baby is fortunate to have you as a parent. I'm almost there and will be back in a little." Sally sighs and remembers having sex with Adam in her disconnected state. Jack tells Diane he could spend all eternity in bed. This is something she agrees with. He inquires as to whether or not her concerns for Kyle have abated. She is powerless to stop it. Jack is confident that their son would eventually accept them and promises to always remain at Diane's side to spread the joy they feel to their son. They have a passionate embrace. In Society, Kyle tells his better half that helping Victor force Adam out of Jabot is all he needs. He thinks he's in charge. Summer worries that Adam's animosity is driving him and warns that this could strain his connection with his father. It's not likely to end well if she conspires with her grandfather. And just then Victor sends Kyle a text message asking to meet up. "What's going on?" Summer wants to know. "There's nothing major," Kyle assures her. When Daniel knocks on Phyllis's door, she answers and he tells her he knows what she done. He understands her want to assist, but he asks that she refrain from further involvement. They are not business partners and he is reconsidering his decision to recruit her. Lily listens to Billy say to Nate, "Boy, was I wrong about you," as he enters Crimson Lights. After learning that he betrayed his family and hired Audra, he confronts him. "Too much credit was given on my part." Along his way, he casts a sidelong peek towards Lily.